Why does freedom sometimes feel like another prison? You escaped the narcissist, yet now you hide from the world. This isn't weakness, it's something far deeper. Have you ever wondered why, after everything you survived, being alone suddenly feels like the only place that makes sense? You finally stepped away from the chaos, the gaslighting, the emotional landmines. And everyone expected you to celebrate. But instead, you found yourself pulling back, avoiding messages, ignoring invitations, and choosing silence over connection. And here's the truth most people don't understand. Your isolation isn't you being dramatic or not moving on. It's your mind and body doing the only thing they know to protect you after a level of hurt most people will never experience. In this video, we're going to break down the real psychological reasons survivors isolate. The reasons you've never been able to put into words. And as you listen, you might realize something comforting. You're not broken, you're healing. 1. The world suddenly feels dangerous. After narcissistic abuse, your nervous system doesn't just calm down because the relationship ended. It stays on high alert, scanning for danger the way it had to when you were walking on eggshells every day. So when people ask, "Why don't you go out more?" or "Why are you avoiding everyone?" they don't realize your body is still acting like the threat hasn't left. Imagine someone touches your shoulder in a grocery store. A normal person might turn around calmly, but your heart jumps, your stomach clenches, and 100 thoughts fire at once. Is this safe? What do they want? Am I reading this wrong? This isn't paranoia, it's conditioning. Your mind learned that closeness equals danger, so distance feels like survival. Many survivors unknowingly enter a fight-flight-freeze loop, where even neutral environments feel hostile because the brain hasn't updated what safe means yet. And this is only the first reason isolation feels necessary. The next one goes even deeper. 2. The trauma is too heavy to explain. One of the loneliest parts of healing is realizing that your story doesn't fit into a simple sentence. You can say, "They lied," or "they cheated," and people nod politely. But the real damage? The 6-hour arguments where they made you doubt your own memory. The cold look in their eyes when they denied things you witnessed. The way they turned your truth into confusion until you questioned your sanity. Try explaining that at brunch. Try telling a friend, "He stared at me like I was crazy until I believed him." Most people simply can't grasp psychological warfare. And here comes the when your pain doesn't fit into other people's understanding, you learn to keep it quiet. So you stop sharing, you shrink your world. You tell yourself, "It's easier if I just don't talk about it." Survivors often develop emotional compression, the habit of packing down complex experiences because they've been dismissed too many times. And this silence, it becomes the doorway to isolation. 3. You're exhausted from masking. During the relationship, you had to perform every single day. You monitored their tone, their footsteps, their breathing, all to predict the next explosion. And somewhere along the way, you learned to hide your real reactions just to stay safe. That mask became your survival tool. So now, when someone invites you out, even for something simple like coffee, it doesn't feel simple to you. It feels like putting that mask back on, smiling, pretending you're fine, holding conversations when your body still feels like it's recovering from a war. Imagine sitting with a friend who's chatting about work drama while your brain is quietly whispering, "Just get through this, keep it together." That kind of emotional labor drains you fast. Your isolation isn't avoidance, it's recovery. Survivors often enter social burnout, a state where even positive interactions feel heavy because the nervous system is still wired for danger, and when you're already running on emotional fumes, solitude becomes the only place you can breathe. 4. Shame and self-blame take over. Narcissists don't just hurt you, they rewrite the story so you look like the cause of the pain. They cheat, but make you feel too needy. They explode, but say you pushed them. They abandon you, then call you too emotional. Over time, you start carrying a shame that was never yours. And shame is isolating. It whispers things like, "How did I let this happen? Why didn't I leave sooner? Maybe I really was the problem." Imagine trying to connect with new people while a voice in your head keeps reminding you of a version of yourself that isn't even real. It's exhausting, and honestly, it feels safer to disappear for a while. Shame doesn't silence you because you're weak. It silences you because you were trained to doubt your worth. Psychologists call this borrowed guilt, where the abuser's unresolved failures become emotional weight the survivor feels responsible for. And until that weight starts to lift, isolation feels like the only place you're not judged. 5. You lost your sense of identity. Narcissistic abuse doesn't just break your heart, it erases your reflection. Piece by piece, you gave up your hobbies, your opinions, your routines, because it was easier than dealing with their irritation or criticism. One day, you wake up and realize you don't even know what music you like anymore. Imagine someone asking, "So what do you enjoy doing?" And your mind just goes blank. You feel like you're trying to remember a person you once knew, but all you find is silence. That's why being around others feels overwhelming. How do you connect when you're still trying to rediscover the version of yourself that was buried? Isolation becomes less about avoiding people and more about rebuilding the person you used to be. Therapists call this the identity vacuum, a period where your brain is rewiring and relearning your authentic preferences without external pressure. And until that new self feels real, solitude becomes the safest workshop for your soul. 6. Fear of hoovering and flying monkeys. Leaving a narcissist doesn't mean they leave you alone. Sometimes the real chaos begins after you walk away. They come back with fake apologies, dramatic messages, "I've changed," or even sudden nostalgia for moments they once dismissed. And if they can't reach you directly, they recruit other people, the flying monkeys, friends, family, co-workers who unknowingly pressure you to reconnect. Imagine your phone lighting up with a text from a mutual friend. "They really miss you, maybe you should talk." Your stomach drops, your hands shake, because you know exactly where that road leads. And so you shut every door, you stop answering calls, you disappear, not because you want to, but because any opening feels like an invitation for them to crawl back in. Isolation becomes your security system, the only way to stop the cycle before it restarts. Your brain develops a threat memory, reacting to even harmless messages as if they're danger signals. Until that fear settles, solitude feels like the safest perimeter you can build. 7. Hypervigilance and empathy overload. After narcissistic abuse, your mind becomes a radar that never shuts off. You notice every shift in someone's tone, every micro-expression, every pause that seems just a little too long. It's not that you want to overanalyze. Your brain learned to do it to stay alive. So you sit with a friend who's talking about their weekend, and while they're relaxed, your mind is scanning everything. Is that smile real? Did I say something wrong? Are they upset with me? And if you're an empathetic person, which many survivors are, you absorb their stress, their frustration, even their sadness. A simple interaction becomes emotionally heavy. Most people leave a conversation feeling refreshed. You leave feeling like you ran a marathon. Researchers call this empathic saturation, when your emotional system gets overwhelmed because it's been operating at maximum sensitivity for too long. And when the world feels this loud, solitude becomes the only quiet room left. 8. You need to relearn trust in others and in yourself. Narcissistic abuse doesn't just break trust in people, it breaks trust in your own perception. You spent months or years being told your feelings were wrong, your memory was wrong, your reality was wrong. So now, when someone shows kindness, you don't relax, you hesitate. Imagine meeting a genuinely good person. They speak gently, they listen, they respect your boundaries, and instead of feeling comfort, you feel suspicious. Why are they being nice? What do they really want? What am I not seeing? But the hardest part isn't trusting others. It's trusting yourself again, trusting your gut, trusting your own read of a situation, trusting that you won't miss the red flags next time. Healing begins the moment you realize your intuition wasn't broken, it was overridden. Therapists call this self-trust rehabilitation, a phase where your brain slowly rebuilds confidence in your own internal signals, and it can only happen in a quiet, safe space. And that quiet space often looks like isolation. There's a part of trauma recovery people rarely talk about, the freeze response, a state where your nervous system simply shuts down to protect you. It's not panic, it's not fear. It's the emotional equivalent of your body pulling the plug because it can't take any more stimulation. You're not sad, you're not angry, you're just blank, numb, disconnected, like you're watching your own life through frosted glass. Imagine your phone hitting 1% battery. It stops opening apps, slows down, and eventually shuts off to survive. Your mind does the same thing after prolonged emotional overload. Isolation isn't always a choice. Sometimes it's your biology forcing you to reboot. Scientists call this dorsal vagal shutdown, a trauma state where the body conserves energy by withdrawing from the world. And until the nervous system resets, interaction feels impossible. This isn't failure, it's your body protecting what's left of you. So if you have been isolating, please hear this. Nothing about your reaction is strange, dramatic, or too much. Every reason you pull back, the fear, the exhaustion, the shame, the confusion, is a completely natural response to an experience that broke your sense of safety. You're not avoiding life. You're rebuilding your nervous system. You're relearning trust. You're recovering the parts of yourself that were silenced for too long. And isolation? It isn't your final destination. It's the cocoon, the quiet, protected space where your mind and heart stitch themselves back together. One day, without forcing anything, you'll notice you feel a little lighter, a little safer, a little more you again, you're not behind, you're not broken. You're healing in the only way your body knows how. If this video helped you feel a little more seen, a little more understood, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Which part spoke to you the most? And if you want more content that supports your healing and helps you make sense of what you've been through, feel free to subscribe and stay with this community. You're not alone, not here.